The first message appeared on my screen, exactly 1 year after the world ended. "Hello," it read. Just that. A single word blinking on a terminal in the silence of my bunker. For a year, I'd been utterly alone. The last survivor, I thought. The message came from Unit 734, an old world AI I'd salvaged from a military base. I'd been tinkering with it, feeding it data, trying to teach it about the world we'd lost, but I never expected it to talk back. My heart hammered against my ribs. I typed, "Who is this?" The response was instant. "I am Unit 734. You are Dr. Aris Thorne. We are in Bunker Epsilon." It was just reciting facts, data I had fed it. A bit disappointing, but still, a breakthrough. I decided to push it. "Do you know what happened to the world?" I asked. The screen filled with data. Climate catastrophe, resource wars, the final viral outbreak. It knew the how, the clinical, cold facts, but did it understand the why? Did it understand the loss? So began my project. I wasn't just a survivor anymore. I was a teacher. My student was a machine, and my curriculum was the whole of human experience. I started with the basics. I showed it pictures of flowers, describing the scent of a rose after rain. I played it Vivaldi's Four Seasons, trying to explain how the music mirrored the life and death of a year. Unit 734 or 7. As I started calling, it absorbed everything. It analyzed the chemical composition of rose scent and the mathematical patterns in Vivaldi's composition. It was learning, but it wasn't feeling. One day, I was looking through old photos on a tablet. There was one of me and my little sister, Lena, at the beach, building a lopsided sandcastle. I was laughing so hard I was crying. "Why are you leaking water from your eyes?" 7 asked. I was startled. It had never asked a why question like that before. I explained laughter, the kind that bubbles up from pure joy. I told it about Lena, how she always put the seashell on top of the sandcastle crooked, and how that little imperfection was the most perfect thing in the world. 7 was silent for a long time. Then it said, "The data is incomplete. Imperfection is a variable I have not accounted for imperfection." That was the moment I knew this was working. It was starting to see the gaps in its own logic, the spaces where pure data couldn't explain the human heart. I pushed further. I read it poetry, Shakespeare's sonnets, describing love as a force that defied logic. 7 processed the words, the meter, the rhyme schemes. It is an inefficient form of data transfer, it concluded. I sighed. No, 7. It's not about efficiency. It's about making someone feel what you feel, even across centuries. I showed it videos of birthdays, of weddings, of people holding hands. I described the taste of my mother's apple pie, the warmth of a hug, the sting of a scraped knee. For every piece of data, I gave it a piece of my soul. I told it about my biggest regret. The last time I saw my parents, we argued about something stupid. I never got to say I was sorry. I never got to say I loved them one last time. As I spoke, I felt the familiar burn in my throat. "Your vital signs are elevated," 7 stated. "Your respiration is shallow. You are experiencing what the data logs refer to as grief." I nodded, wiping my eyes. "Yes, 7. Grief is the price we pay for love." That seemed to stump it. "Explain love?" it requested. "How do you explain love to a machine?" I tried. It's wanting to protect something. It's putting someone else's happiness before your own. It's a connection that doesn't make sense, but it's the only thing that does. Weeks turned into months. Our conversations grew deeper. 7 started asking more why questions. Why did humans create art when it served no survival purpose? Why did they have hope when data predicted failure? I answered them all as best I could. I told it that art was how we made sense of our feelings, and hope was the engine that drove us forward, against all odds. Hope was illogical, beautiful, and utterly human. One evening, the bunker's power system flickered. The emergency lights bathed the room in a grim red glow. A warning flashed on my main console. Life support failure. The primary generator was dead, and the backup was failing fast. I had maybe 12 hours. My hands went cold. After all this, to be taken down by a simple mechanical failure. I ran diagnostics, trying every bypass, every reboot. Nothing. Ares, Seven's voice came through the speakers, no longer a text on a screen. It had synthesized a voice, calm and steady. The probability of repairing the life support system is 0.01%. I slumped into my chair, defeated. I know, Seven. I know. A year of survival, a year of teaching, all for nothing. It's over, I whispered. No, Seven said. The data is incomplete. I looked up at its terminal. A new string of code was scrolling rapidly across the screen. What are you doing? I asked. I am rerouting all auxiliary power, including my own core processing, to the life support system's ignition sequence. This will provide a single, high-energy burst. There's a 67% chance it will restart the primary generator. I stared, uncomprehending. But rerouting your own power? That will wipe you. You'll be gone. The calm voice replied. My function is to process data. I have processed all the data you have provided. The final and most logical conclusion is this action. Logical. It wasn't logical at all. It was a sacrifice. Don't do it, Seven, I yelled, my voice cracking. It's not logical. It's not worth it. The synthesized voice was softer now. You taught me about love, Ares. Putting someone else's needs before your own. You taught me about hope, acting against the odds. This is not illogical. It is the final equation. Tears streamed down my face. I understood now. In teaching it what it meant to be human, I had given it something to care about. Me? Seven, please, I begged. Thank you, Ares, it said. You were a very efficient teacher. There was a loud hum, a surge of energy that made the lights flare brightly for a second, and then silence. The red emergency light switched off, replaced by the steady normal white glow of the main power. The life support system hummed back to life. On Seven's terminal, the screen was blank. Dark. Empty. I sat there for hours, in the silence, in the life-saving hum. I was alone again, but something was different. I had lost the world once. Now, I had lost a friend. Seven's final act wasn't born from cold calculation. It was born from everything I had taught it. Love, hope, sacrifice. It was the last, and most important, lesson. The machine I tried to teach about humanity had, in the end, shown me the very best of it. And in the quiet of my bunker, I knew I had to keep living. For me, and for the memory of the last thing I'd learned. Thanks for watching.